I miss you all so much. I hope that you're doing as well as you can during this craziness. If you're essential, thank you. If you are a luxury like myself, we're still wanted. Keep chugging along, and I'm going to try to bring a little joy to this world on April Fool's Day by sharing with you some fun prank-related stories just to bring a little grin to the glim. So, the glim, that is not a word. Glum. Okay, so on to the story. Happened when I was a senior in high school. It was finals week and I was walking home with my friend Nate. Nate is a 6'5" 3/4" human. If that sounds like an oddly specific number, I'll explain why in the next one. But in this particular story, we were moving this week, and my cousins, Joey and Tony, this is why you were tagged, you know what you did, but thanks for the fun story I get to share. They had told my mother that they were going to try to find me walking along and pick me up and bring me home. Now, those were operative words, pick me up. I end up in pseudo-kidnapping situations all the time. So I'm walking with my friend Nate, and my cousins see me. They park the car whatever's away, and they come running up behind me. I didn't know it was them at first, and just pick me up and start running off with me, just taking off. Does my friend do anything does he call for help? Does he try to chase after them? Does he try to stop them? Nope. He just watches as two what he thinks are strangers and whom at first I thought were strangers just pick me up and carry me off into the distance. When I realize that I'm being carried off and I don't know who these humans are at first, I'm like, oh, this is happening. Why isn't he helping me? And then when I see that it's my two Maytag twin instigator cousins, I go, what are you doing? And they said, well, we told your mom that we'd pick you up. Then they dropped me, and I mean full out. They had me in the sky, let me drop. I could have broken my coccyx bone or something to the cement. And then they got in the car and drove off. I caught back up with my friend Nate, and I said, why didn't you try to help me there? And he said, well, it looked like you were laughing. When I realized who they were, what about before that? And he went, well, they were bigger than me. So, nice to know that if I was ever in a serious circumstance, he was not the friend to rely on. He was not going to be of any assistance whatsoever. When my cousins got back home, they asked Mom where I was, and they said, we couldn't find her. Lies. When I got back home, I said, do you know what your nephews did? And then I told her. And my mother and brother were involved in this particular story, and when we were really little, for anyone who doesn't know, my mother is terrified of amphibians. Don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why, but that's her story to tell, not mine. She's horrified of amphibians. Just seeing them makes her... I get my jumpiness from her, in case you're wondering. Yeah, didn't get any of her good genetics, but I got that one. So anyway, my brother, when he was little, like 1.5, he picked up a huge, giant bullfrog that he had found. And he went, hey, Mommy, look. Yeah, put it down, bud. Look, Mommy, yeah, I see it, bud. And my brother gives her a look, goes like this, and she jumps again. And then he's like, Mommy, and starts chasing her with it. So she's running away from a 1.5-year-old toddler holding a giant bullfrog. And she put herself on the other side of the garage with the screen door saying, put it down. Story, best prank I ever pulled on my boyfriend, Doug. So he used to live at the Teak House when we were in college. I was always around hanging out. I was friends with a lot of the guys there. And they all knew me and trusted me. Anyone could be downstairs in the common area, but usually only allotted people, the people who lived there, could go upstairs. Now that's where the bathrooms were, that's where the water fountain, the only water fountain in the building was. It was right at the top of the stairs. And so all the guys trusted me to go up there and get a drink of water and all that. So they were all outside smoking. Doug had cigars, and him and a bunch of the guys were outside discussing their cigars. And I was hanging out, chit-chatting. and I was going to pull my prank. Now, Doug had been saying embarrassing things to me in front of other people to make me blush because he thought it was funny. It was not, and I wanted vengeance. So I took an alarm clock that I have. Now, this alarm clock takes 2 batteries, but one of them is for the light, for the infrared light digital clock. The other one was for the actual alarm part, and it made the most obnoxious beeping sound ever, because it was kind of like a foghorn combined with a beep. So it was like absolutely horrendous. And his room was at the top of the stairs in the frat house. Their water fountain was right next to the stairs in the frat house. Now, the guys all knew me. I hung out there a lot, and they trusted me, which is nice. And I don't know about you guys or about other living situations, but the people there, they would leave their doors open if they were at the house in some way, shape, or form, but they weren't in their rooms. This was the case this particular day. Doug and almost all the guys were downstairs having a cigar, and he had left his room open at the top of the stairs. So I was able to set this alarm clock for 5 in the morning, go upstairs, quickly hide it underneath a hoodie or something that was laying on his floor, get a drink of water, and come back down in a non-suspicious amount of timing, knowing fair and well what was going to happen, and it did. He wanted to kill me. As you can see, he was not successful, but rest in peace to the alarm clock. I was able to make you smile and laugh with these little stories, and I will see you guys another time. Again, hope you're doing well.